What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 56 of The Dank Shrine. With me today is the two-time Code S Zerg, NoRegreT. Jake, how are you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic, my good sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing dank as always, man. It's good to have you here. I'm glad we were finally able to get you on the show.
It's been a while.
I like the documentary. Finally got a chance to watch it in full. I skimmed it the first time when it first came out, but I wasn't able to watch it, front to back. I actually watched it twice.
It's really good.
It is really, really good. You guys did an amazing job doing that.
We were quite worried because originally we didn't really have like that much footage of Kalzer in Korea. So we're like, how do we make a story out of this? But it turned out really well, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited for other projects that you guys end up doing because very, very, very well done.
Yeah, film guy is insanely talented.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Hopefully, you didn't have a hard time waiting for us. I know we didn't have any music going there. I already had Jake on the call, so I didn't want to have him talking to you guys too early. So, but welcome to the show. This is obviously our first episode of the new year. Feels good to be back in the swing of things, and starting out the year right with Jake, who's going to help us cover some Code S, the Code S bracket, and kind of talk a little bit about the team house in Korea. So
sure.
We're in for a good show today. So I'm happy to have everyone here with us today. Let's jump right into it. Start off with just some general news. Golden left MYI. Looks like it was just the end of a contract deal. Didn't renew it. I don't think it's a really big hit for either of them, really. What do you think?
No. My guess would be that Golden was picked up as at his return for the potential factor. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As Golden was very dominant at some point, they probably we'll pick him up, see how he does. If we get him early on, it's kind of like a good investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Golden does well, but I think Golden's plan is not necessarily to be the best pro gamer, but more as to be the best streamer. What it appears to be.
Yeah, no, his stream's been doing pretty good, and he's got some pretty funny videos and stuff. So I think that's good, but that's why I kind of think they kind of part ways.
Yes,
it's not,
I think that's probably what happened.
It's not harmful for either of us.
Yeah.
And then the other big team swap news is Stefano left Meltdown, which was kind of like his own kind of thing that he started. He was alone on that team, and now he's signed with a new team for Gamers Origin. Well, new in terms of StarCraft at least. So
for sure.
Is Stefano ever gonna I feel like he goes on hiatus for a little bit, and then he'll kind of come back a little bit, and he'll leave for a little bit, and then he'll kind of come back in a little bit.
I think Stefano's been the most consistent he has for a very long time, in the sense that he's been practicing pretty regularly for quite a long time. You know what I mean? I don't think he's gonna disappear anytime soon, for sure.
I think it kind of goes back to that thing, no one either you quit StarCraft. There's two type of people, right? You either quit full out, or you always come
never
back.
Touch it again.
Yeah,
or you get hooked into playing again. I think that's the problem with just playing for fun, is that your personality got you to the point where you were really good enough to be a professional, and the reason why you did that is because you want to master it, because you want to take it to the next level, right?
Right.
So you can't just be like, I'm going to play a couple of games, because as soon as you do, you get pulled into the whole I want to be the best again. You know what I mean?
Right. Absolutely.
So you see that wave of people come back and they're like, I'm just going to play for fun, and then they play 400 ladder games that season or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But yeah.
But yeah, being with that new team, obviously he's been very active. Not only has he been streaming, but I've seen him being a lot of EU streamers are hitting my ladder. So I mean, he's putting in a lot of work right now. So
yeah, he's looking great, I think, honestly.
Yeah. So I'm excited to watch him in events and kind of see how he does this year. He's always a fun player to watch. He's very entertaining, obviously, and I think that's the reason why
he's one of the best on camera too.
Yeah.
We don't really have many good pro gamers on camera. We have solid talent in StarCraft right now. I think StarCraft is probably at its highest skill level ever, but we don't see very many people that are good on camera anymore. So it's really nice to see a personality coming back that actually is very charismatic on camera, and just someone that is entertaining. You can tell his personality well.
Kind of like the opposite of Neeb. Someone who almost craves the attention.
I mean, Neeb is allowed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neeb is allowed. I'll give him that one. He's just fucking insanely good. He's like the innovation of the foreign scene, but we need to have some of those personalities that are good and are
Right.
very out there with their personality. Yeah, Stefano's a good example of that, actually. You're not like the most insane fucking guy, but you're really good and you're really, really good on camera. It's just a
Yeah.
good person to have in StarCraft for sure.
When I think too, it also comes down to I think he likes the attention. I think that's
Oh,
something.
he
that,
loves it.
So,
Oh, he loves
so
it.
like
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons too. Is like he loves to be on camera. Like he loves to be the center of attention.
right. I
So
actually don't know too much about Gamer's origin
I
at all.
I don't either. They're this is their first venture into StarCraft. From what I could find. So. I think if you're going to pick up someone for your only player for StarCraft, that's a really good pick.
I'd be very interested to know who was the one who wanted to opt out in the Meltdown, like Stefano partnership. It's been a really long time, Like I would have never seen it happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it seemed very spontaneous.
Yeah.
But my guess is it was Stefano because usually if a team opts out like that, like you don't see an instant pickup. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously speculation, so no one quote me as a source, but I'm pretty sure that Stefano probably got a pretty decent offer, and Meltdown was probably like,
we're not gonna.
like
you can go.
we can't really match that exactly.
Right.
Which is good for him, right? Like
yeah.
it has to be a good offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Then the only other one was Impact left Dead Pixels and joined Titan X1. So
Yeah.
I don't know a whole
I
lot
heard
about them.
I don't know how much I should say, but I know a lot about them, more than I probably should know, because they were at the GSL qualifier scouting people there,
Oh, really?
right? And they had contracts there, like for people to sign.
Huh.
And I read one of the contracts. Obviously, it seems legit. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like the salaries are good, but I don't know anything about them, honestly. As a team.
Here's what one of my mods just messaged me. They're a Korean tech company, and they messaged Liquipedia about making a page claiming their new roster is Lenok, Bunny Impact, Jakshi, and Ragnarok.
And they were, yeah. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about it. The contract seemed like it took a portion of your earnings, but it gave you a high salary, but the portion was quite high as well. So, like, for example, someone like me would probably benefit a lot from being on that team because I'm not necessarily going to earn a lot of money per tournament win.
Right.
But if it was someone like Innovation, he would be losing a lot of money to be on the team. Like it was actually a significant portion, less than 50%, but pretty high percentage. You know what I mean, of your earnings. So it seems legit though. Like usually, if a team's asking for that kind of thing, it's not like we're not going to pay you, but give us your contract. You know what I mean? Your money. So chances are like that's how they're going to try and do it, is like they're going to receive some money back from the tournament winnings. If you do well, they do well, kind of thing. And they pay you a decent salary, which is worth it for the lower level, like round of 32 Koreans or round of 16 Koreans even.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit of extra insight, honestly.
Yeah. No,
I don't know how much I'm allowed, like I just like peeked over and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
no, it's cool. I'm glad. If it's the real deal, then I'm glad to see other people taking interest in StarCraft and new people. Obviously, we have the new team like Meloria get involved now with like Sort of and Jim and Panda Bear Me. I don't know who else is on that team right now.
Oh, they picked up eggs too.
Eggs.
Yeah, the eggs. It was really random pickup.
I did see that. Yeah. So
I'm not that eggs is bad, but I mean, like, damn, this is a surprising pickup. They have like an entire Zerg roster too, which is
all Zerg. Yeah.
It's surprising because I think a lot of teams would want diversity, but I think it's smarter to have one race team.
That way you can just balance.
Like,
you only have to practice versus the other two races, and then you can in-house.
I think not many teams actually in-house, like ever. So the nice thing about being an all-race team is that you can actually share strategies pretty comfortably. That's not some big investment. Like a lot of people don't really want to practice against teammates. I mean, when I was on the team, I never did. But you can at least share strategies, which is nice. That is a benefit of being like friends with Zerg players, and that's something that benefits everyone.
Yeah.
So that is one cool thing about a team.
Yeah, I've actually got an interview planned with the owner of that team. Probably not next weekend, but the week after at some point, just to kind of like talk to him, get him introduced into the scene and kind of figure out, what he's about and who he is and how the team came to be. Because I think that's pretty interesting because that just came out of left field too, just signed, sort of. It was kind of like a one player thing, but then just, kind of made those other pickups like pretty rapidly. So
right.
super interesting. So I'm excited to talk to him.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Figure out what he's about. In other news, we got the Wardy TV Team League Season 8 announced. That's awesome. Obviously, Wardy does an excellent job. Season 8's kind of been revamped. I guess Season 7 was kind of a little lackluster as far as like performance-wise, like teams like, not showing up and stuff. But apparently this season's going to be a little bit different, a little more heavy enforcement, obviously. Right. So looking forward to that. And then OSC Season 5 Championship's been announced. That'll be January 4th through the 14th. $10,000 plus prize pool. You've got like Wardy, Zombie Grub, Maynard casting it. So that's going to be a pretty good tournament to watch as well. So again, that'll be January 4th through the 14th. For Team League, didn't you say you wanted to get the house involved in the Wardy team?
Yeah. I think it'll be fun because a lot of us are on like solo sponsored team. Like for me, I'm the only player on Nerd Street. I'll probably will always be the only player on Nerd Street, so I don't get to play in team leagues. So it would be nice to have a team house team. Like I've talked to Wardy a bit, and it seems that we need only 4 core members. So including myself and Hurricane, we need 2 extra members, and I think that's pretty easy to accommodate. There's about 5 people staying here permanently, or at least long term.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be fun to set up a house team. I think it's it adds a new dynamic to the house where it's more of like a group effort into something.
Yeah.
It's like a bonding experience. I like it. I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
But I really glad that Wardy does team leagues. I think team leagues are one of the most utilized things in StarCraft. Like there's so much diversity when it comes to a team league.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just a lot of fun. It gets more people involved too. Sometimes it's players that aren't necessarily the best of the best. But you're able to play them anyway, and kind of see what they're made about. That was kind of the cool thing about like Code A back in the day, right? Like you were able to kind of see some of these guys who weren't the top, but they were able to at least show off what talents they did have.
Yeah, that was a nice thing about Pro League too. Like we see a fuck ton of people that would just like come out and be like, "Holy shit! Like who's this person?" And then they would snipe somebody and be like, "Whoa!" And it was just like this person practiced for this player and fucked him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like there's a lot of interesting dynamics when it came to Pro League. I was really sad that Pro League stopped. I think that was one of the biggest mismanagements of anything ever.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the fact that Pro League had to stop. But yeah, that's another story.
It would be great if we could get something like that going again for sure. But
yeah, we should have a house Pro League.
Pretty hard to orchestrate. But if you could do it, it'd be awesome.
I mean, if I had the funding, I would do it 100%. I'd just be like, okay, teams of 4, come here. Like we have 10 PCs. Just fuck it.
Come on, Blizzard, get on it.
Home Story Cup.
It. Yeah.
Home Story Cup and Pro League. Just throw them together. Fuck
exactly. It. But yeah, so let's move on. So obviously, Jake, you've qualified for the second time. For GSL. You've been in Korea now for how long? How long has it been for you now?
Like a year and a half or so, maybe longer. Almost 2 years.
And you're getting pretty comfortable. Obviously, like you pretty much know your way around and everything. You're obviously like one of the core people. You put together, this the CMOS experience and kind of guiding others. There's been some players that have never been to Korea, and you're kind of helping them out as well. So I think that's a really cool opportunity as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's where the house became a thing. It's like the experience that I had in MVP was something that I wanted to, be able to give others.
Yeah.
I got really lucky with that, and it just seemed like something that StarCraft could really benefit from. So that's where I invested my time.
How has your overall experience been in Korea? Not just with StarCraft, but just being there, being in the culture, just in general.
It's been one of the best experiences. Like everything about Korea has been great for gaming and for even like personal life stuff. It's just really good. Mm-hmm. Like I've never felt discriminated against or anything. Everyone seems very nice and inclusive, and a lot of people just talk to you because you're a foreigner. Like they want to practice English and stuff. Like everyone just seems very genuine here.
Well, and it also helps that you're super tall, so people find you just really. Probably interesting in general because you stick out because you kind of tower over it. Because how tall are you? You're 6'1", 6'2"?
6'4" or 5" actually.
Oh, okay, so you're even taller. So yeah, you kind of see over everyone when you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
So you
kind of.
Yeah. So you stick out. So people are like, "Hey, who's this guy?"
Yeah, but in general, like it's been one of the best. Love the food too. Like I used to be quite a picky eater before coming to Korea, and my MVP experiences kind of forced me to eat new foods.
Yeah.
Because when I first got here, I didn't know any Korean, didn't know any like thing to do or what to eat or how to order, but they just like gave you Korean food there, and you just kind of ate it or starved, and it was really good. So I was like, ah, fuck it, this is good food. It's free.
What's been your favorite food, I guess, then, so that you've experienced then?
Right now,
Like, what's your go-to?
I think my favorite is dak galbi, which is like stir-fried chicken and like spicy sauce. It's really fucking good. It's expensive though, so I don't really go for it often. That's like the delicacy meal.
Gotcha. What's like the everyday?
Every day, I don't know. Like fried rice is really good. Tteokbokki, which is like rice cakes, and
yeah, I like tteokbokki. That's one of my favorite dishes.
Yeah, it's really good. I also like donkas, which is like pork cutlet, stuff like that.
Nice. No, it's good to hear that, you know, that it's been a good experience. I mean, obviously, if it wasn't, you know, I don't think you'd still be there.
I think every single person who comes here never regrets it. Like, it's just something that has always been a benefit to be here, and I think we can see that. Like, our house is full right now. You know,
right?
We have 9 people here.
Right.
So like the house is very, you know, consistent in interest, and everyone who comes wants to come back again. It's just, yeah, it's a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Any future plans to stay in Korea? Like you know, just to continue on?
Yeah. This house is a 2-year contract. I don't know if I should say that, but
nope. Well, too late.
So like, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal to share it. So the house technically is only supposed to run for 1 year, but I signed a 2-year contract with the landlord, which is something you kind of have to do, honestly. Like, you can't really sign a 1 year. That's why we did it. But I truly believe that it'll go that long, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. Like, we can get out of the contract still. It's not that hard.
Right.
The rent really isn't that bad for the house either. So like, even if we are like responsible for it, I think it's something that's definitely payable.
Yeah.
So yeah, this house should run for at least 2 years, and then beyond 2 years, I have to see how it goes. But so far, we've been literally so full that I have to deny people.
Right. Yeah.
And like, I'm denying like good people. It's not like I'm denying, you know, a platinum player. Like, I had to say no to Kellizer.
Yeah.
So like, we're
good problems to have. You know.
Yeah.
Having like,
we don't have to really worry about anything when it comes to the house.
Right. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the house here later, and more about it here in a minute. But let's talk GSL, because we obviously got the groups released. You know, you qualified again for the second time. So here, I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for everyone to take a look at here. The next one's, the first round starts here in 2 days. So that'll be Innovation, Creator, Lenok, and Solar. Jake, what do you think? What are your predictions here for this group?
I think Solar got a really lucky group. Like, a really lucky group. So like, obviously Innovation's scary as fuck, right? But like, ZVT, Innovation's always been good, but not insane. Like, I feel like Innovation isn't really like, right now for sure isn't insane. Like, he's definitely a beatable player right now. Creator is like one of the worst names to get into Codes besides me and some of the other people. Like, I don't want to shit on Creator, but like, he certainly is not like Solar level.
Right.
You know?
I think he just hasn't been performing up to, you know.
And even yes. And even Creator's group was not the hardest. Like, again, I don't want to shit on Creator, but certainly isn't like a A-tier Korean. So we've got him, Lenok, very wild cardish right now. Like, he said he's retiring, and I talked to him at the qualifier. He's like, yeah, I'm just playing for fun. And he qualified. So I don't know how seriously he's taking it. He's like 6'2", 6'3", which is still not insane. Like, Solar should have a dominant ZVZ and ZVP. Like, Solar is just known for those 2 matchups. And then Innovation obviously is beatable. I would expect Innovation first, but close series against Solar, and then Solar coming second, clearly.
Right. I have to agree. I think that one's kind of clean cut, easy to kind of pick. Taking a look at Group B, we've got SOS, Sort of, BL, and Deer. So we have our first foreigner. You know what? Looking at it, it kind of looks like he doesn't have a good shot. I actually think he has a like. It's plausible. I think he really could.
It's plausible, yeah.
I think he could get out.
Favored.
Yeah, definitely not favored. I think he could do it
plausible.
though. Yeah,
I think he like. It's nice that he has a Zerg Protoss group. It's not like you have to practice for every matchup.
Right.
It's only Zergs, only Protosses. He knows how to play these matchups pretty comfortably. Biol is not necessarily known right now for being consistently good either. Like he's another one of those players who said he was going to retire and then kind of did and then came back and played.
Mm-hmm.
So like Biol is also a name that could or could not be really good. SOS obviously insanely dominant.
Right.
And Deer relatively dominant as well. So like I hope that he does make it out, and it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But
it'll be tough, but
it's hard.
But it's doable. Yes. Yeah.
I certainly think he has a better group than mine.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I think you got a little. Yeah, I think you got shafted a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
but my predictions would be SOS Deer and then Rickard third, but my heart would say that Rickard comes second.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one too. Looking at Group C, we've got Rogue, Dok Young, which is Billowy, if you didn't know, because apparently he's going by his given name now. Because I didn't know who the hell that was. I had to look it up. Scarlet, and then Alive. So
I really like this group for Scarlet.
Yeah,
really like it.
I think she has a really good. I think out of everyone, she's got the best odds. I think it's actually pretty clean cut. I think it's going to be Rogue Scarlet.
Yeah,
so it could go the other way. She could get out first because
she's actually pretty confident against Rogue too. So
yeah.
like, not to say that she's favored over Rogue, but certainly like I give her the edge in the top two. I'm hoping. The only thing that I'm worried about is nerves. Like I don't think she gets nervous too often, but there are things that are like external forces that do affect her pretty negatively.
Right.
Like the headphones really fucked with her last time.
Yeah.
Honestly, she choked quite hard against Innovation the time before, and she knows that she did. I personally think she's a favorite in the group, but there are those external forces. I'm hopeful, and I think it's really good if she does make it to the round of 16 because I feel like the most determined I ever see her is when she qualifies.
Yeah,
and I can only imagine how scary like a round of 16 preparing Scarlet is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
So I hope everything goes well and she makes it through, and she'll be the first foreigner to make it in the round of 16 if the prophecy is fulfilled.
Right. Do you know, is she planning on playing with the sound this time, or has she been like practicing?
She'll play with the sound for sure.
Okay. Like what's like, has she been training like all like for that or anything?
Not really.
Okay.
We're just trying to get good headphones that isolate the the white noise.
Right. Okay. Good. Well, good. I know that was kind of, like we said, kind of a fail. So I want to make sure that she's,
They're actually warning us now. Like in emails, they're like warning, like the sounds are really loud. So be ready, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we complained about it.
But yeah, pretty clean cut. I think we both agree. Rogue Scarlet could go either way, but that's pretty clean cut. Looking at your group D, we've got Sue, yourself, Zest, and Bunny.
Yes.
You kind of got fucked.
I got fucked.
Yeah.
I got fucked. I think even the weakest person in apparently Zest is my tier 3,
Yeah.
So like Zest isn't even the second best in my group technically. Bunny is. So like my group is insanely hard. Bunny obviously being underrated. Zest probably being one of the best Protosses, maybe behind SOS.
Yeah.
Like top 3 Protoss right now.
He seems like he's been on it as of late, so yeah, definitely.
Sue is a BlizzCon runner-up, and Bunny is really fucking good. Like I said, he's underrated as fuck.
Maybe that's your chance, though.
Apparently, my group is the 3rd highest voted for Group of Death, and I'm in it. So like we know the other 3 are stacked. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see you pull an upset here and somehow get in. Obviously. You never
honestly think, like when I look at these other groups, I think Group G, like looking through it, Group G and Group D are like the hardest groups in the entire round of 32.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm not even being biased. If you remove me from, just say that anyone who plays me gets a bye, it's still one of the hardest groups.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, yeah.
So are you preparing anything for Sue? Like, are you working on anything specific?
Kinda. Honestly, I'm preparing more for WCS right now because it's literally in like 2 days.
Right.
But as soon as WCS finishes, I'm going hard on the GSL practice.
Gotcha.
So like right now, I'm actually playing a lot on NA, which is like everyone's like, well, why are you doing that? That's just a waste. But like, I can't play on Korea and then be like, okay, it's time for WCS because I'm just gonna get fucked.
Right.
Because not only do I have to play against Ping, but everyone plays totally differently. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going on the WCS NA grind right now, and then as soon as it's done, we go GSL grind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know that everyone will be cheering for you regardless of who you're going
Everyone's
against.
very so, which is nice.
But okay, if we're looking at it and we're being honest, I think it's probably going to be Sue Zest.
Yes, I agree.
Bunny might be able to pull an upset. Like I said, I would love to see you pull an upset.
I think Zest is a clear first in my opinion. Like Sue is good and all, but I think Zest's PVZ is insanely strong.
Yeah.
Maybe not a clear favorite. I think first place is contended between Sue and Zest, and then Bunny. Obviously, it depends.
Yeah.
It could go anyway between those three, honestly. But Bunny is also like a really wild card. Like he could just come out with some crazy shit and beat both Zest and Sue. It wouldn't be insanely surprising to me if he came out first or second.
Right.
So like, obviously, I would count for myself being last. I'm probably gonna go 0-4, and then I'm gonna have the meme like, oh, Foreigner, he's going 0-4. Dude. Like I got so much shit for going 0-4 in my first group. You know what my first group was?
I don't remember who you had.
Hero and Dark. So I got fucked by CJ Hero and Dark, and then they're like, all right, let's fuck them again. Zest and Sue. Next group's going to be Innovation and fucking...
It's a conspiracy.
Why? No.
At least win one game today.
Yeah, I'm going to go 0-8. That's going to be the meme. I'm going to qualify for Code S, and every time I'm going to get fucking railed in a round of 32. I'm going to go 0-16 at the end of the year.
I mean, it happens, you know. It happens to like Luciera.
I'm going to... You know what? Fuck it. I've changed my strategy. I'm no longer going to win the series. I'm just going to take a map. I'm going to do the craziest fucking shit on one map. And I'm not losing 0-4, okay?
There you go. That's a good goal.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
I've changed my goal. I always wanted to win my group. No, fuck that. We're taking a map.
Just winning that.
You guys are gonna see the most insane strategy ever conceived. I'm just gonna drone rush the other games, and everything. All my mental power is gonna be poured into one game, and I'm gonna fuck them up in that one game, and then I'm gonna just forfeit my last game.
I can't wait to watch that. I'll be looking forward to it. All right, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Group E. We've got Gumiho, Hurricane, Lucira, and TY. I guess kind of a hard group because I feel like we haven't seen Hurricane do a whole lot.
He's talking.
But I think Gumiho TY.
Gumiho TY?
Yeah.
I think Hurricane's getting out of this group.
You think so?
I think PVT favors Protoss to some extent, as long as they know how to play it well.
Definitely, that's what I'm saying. I really don't.
Hey, this is Dank Shrine with NoRegreT. Okay, you need to go.
Tell him to get in the chat if he wants to give his opinions.
Yeah, you have to be in the chat. You're not. This is my show. No, Toast says shut the fuck up. Okay, back to NoRegreT. I think Protoss is extremely strong.
Right.
I think Hurricane's dedicated as fuck. Here. Shh. Brandon, get out of the way. Get out of the way. See that?
Yeah.
He's practicing really hard right now. He's the only one. Look at... Okay, never mind. Scarlett's practicing too. Go outside. Okay. So, yeah, he's been practicing super hard. I think he's got a good shot. He thinks he's got a good shot.
Good. I'm glad he's confident. I would love to see him get in, to be honest. I would love him to... I
think I would give him... Like, I'm not even being favoritism or anything. I think he's got a good shot at second place.
Yeah.
I think Gumiho's TVP is some sketch right now. Like, TY obviously extremely strong, but...
Right.
And Lucira, I think, is quite an underdog. Like...
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel...
I feel like he hasn't gotten out of the round. Well... I think
season around in a long time.
Well, he did in what? It was either last season, season 3, or season 2 before that he got out because he got to groups. I remember that, but then he hasn't gone farther than like the round of 16 for like a couple years. I feel like.
Yeah, I think all of these three players have an insane TVZ too. So it's just like or TVZ, PVZ, whatever it is. Like anything versus Zerg, they're just insanely dominant.
Right.
So like TY and Gumiho, obviously insane TVZ. He has a serious uphill battle. I think he's clearly the 4th place person in this group. Hurricane, I think, is a pretty good second shot. Gumiho, I think Gumiho's really fucking hard to predict. You know what I mean? Like sometimes he looks so insane, so dominant, and other times you just see like Cyclones dying, and he's just doing this weird Cyclone Hellion thing that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
He's like the True, but he plays Terran.
Yeah, exactly, kind of.
Because True either plays like a god, or it's like, what the fuck are you doing, True?
He's either Gumiho's either first or third, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a look at Group F here. Group F, we've got Dark, Trust, Trap, and Beyond.
Trust and Trap.
Trust and Trap. Trust. Beyond's the tier 2. I'm for sure Dark, right? But I'm having a hard time between
Dark is a dominant first for sure.
But I'm actually having a problem between the other 3.
I think Dark and Trap pretty clear. I think Beyond is quite underrated right now, and not in a good way. But I think he's starting to fall off, not in skill, but in like mentality. I think Beyond is a real mental kind of person. Like he plays with a strong mentality. That's when he's strongest, and I feel like he's really off in that sense. He had a really couple close games in the qualifiers against like Xanster and other people. So I think Trap is obviously a very dominant Protoss, and Dark is obviously an insanely dominant Zerg as well. Like these are the two best, some of the two best players in Korea. Yeah. So Dark being first on the ladder right now, and Trap being like third or fourth.
And I've been told by many Koreans, never trust.
Trust is sketch.
You can't trust him. It's the opposite of what you want to do. It's the opposite of his name. You can't trust him.
I certainly think Dark and Trap are pretty dominant for sure.
Yeah, Beyond, it's kind of seemed like he's kind of been distracted. He left the team. He's currently teamless, kind of doing his own thing right now, just doing the streaming thing. And there was kind of the whole scandal, like the leaving game thing, playing lower MMR players, blah blah blah. And regardless of that situation, though, I think, whether you think it was good or bad or whatever, I think it affected him in a negative way, right? Just it being news and stuff.
I think it's just like since BlizzCon, like we haven't seen a real dominant Beyond. I'm pretty comfortable to say that too. I think his earnings last year were 38K. Brandon, this is the NoRegreT time. No more. Shh. Go do your thing. You're streaming, aren't you? Go. Yeah. Okay. I think we haven't seen a dominant Beyond in a long time. Like he's good. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely better than most foreigners. But like, I don't think he's Trap or Dark level, honestly.
Right. Let's take a look at Group G. We've got Stats, Impact, Jockey, and Classic. So this is a pretty tough group as well.
Yeah, this is. I think Stats obviously very favorite for first, in my opinion. Stats is just like the solid player. Like if you think about what is Stats really bad against? What is Stats like? Everyone has a weakness, right? Like a Kryptonite. I just can't think of one for Stats. Like I just can't.
Yeah, like Stats. It's kind of like he's not necessarily the best at one thing either, but he's just super well rounded in everything. You know what I mean?
He's just fucking dominant.
Like he doesn't have 100% any skill, but he's got 90s in every one of them. Yes, so it's still someone who's like super hard to like find a weakness. And you're right. I really can't think of one, to be honest.
Yeah, I can't either. Like when you talk about other players, it's actually like a very it's something you can point out with a lot of people. Like Gumiho's very mech dimensional. Like Su has a second place curse. NoRegreT likes to build Zerglings. Dark does really crazy weird shit and dies because he does that, you know what I mean? Right. And then you just have Stats, and you're just like, well, he's just good. Like, fuck. He doesn't have his kryptonite, but yeah, I think Stats are pretty clear first. Impact's quite an aggressive player, so I think if Impact faces against Stats, that's a pretty clear Stats favored game. He does have a chance to, like pull off a aggressive build and win, but like honestly, it just doesn't work against Stats.
Right.
Like, you have to do some crazy shit. Plus, Stats obviously will know Impact very well. I think if Impact's going to do a crazy build and make it work, it'll probably do better against Classic. So that could be a potential Impact victory if we're playing that. Impact versus Jockey, I would favor Impact quite heavily. I think I would favor everyone versus Jockey. So Jockey may be clear fourth. Impact and Classic a second spot debate. And then stats
That's
first.
number one. Yeah. I'm gonna think the Protoss has got this one. So I'm gonna think stats and classic on this one.
Yeah, I think I would give that like a slight edge, but Impact is a very weird wild card too. Like fuck, like he can do some crazy shit. I think he actually did he beat Classic in no, he made it. He qualified for IEM, right?
Did he?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Impact
you're right. You know,
qualified
yeah,
for IEM.
yep, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a very weird wild card, so I wouldn't, count him out.
I'm a firm believer too that when players start playing for a new team, I believe they always play a little bit harder because they're playing for that new team. They're like, all right, let me show you why, you picked me up. Let me show you why I'm worth it. I think there's always a little bit of that when you start like for a new team. You always kind of want to show them like, hey, you were right to pick me, or to give me money. So yeah, I think Impact, he could pull something off because you're right, he did qualify for IEM. I had kind of forgotten about that. So
yeah, he's good.
It's important. All right, let's take a look at the final group here. We got Group H, Root Hero, Ragnarok, Keen, and Maru. I think that one's pretty easy actually. I'm gonna say Hero Maru.
I think this is probably one of the lowest skilled groups, which is still fucking it's hard. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I think Hero is a very unpredictable, and yet his unpredictability makes him like a bit of a worse player in my opinion. Like he can do some crazy shit, and again, it kills him. You know what I mean? Like he's not a very straightforward player.
Right.
He can be though. He can be. I just feel like he doesn't show that a lot. Ragnarok's been practicing a lot, and he's been a lot better than I was expecting. Like I was expecting, you see all those Koreans like say, "All right, I'm coming back. I'm gonna start practicing." And you're like, "Ah, yeah, right, dude. Like, see you in a couple of years when you catch up, right?"
Right.
Ragnarok's been like fucking flying through that shit. He's like 6'4". He's doing really well. He's playing a lot of games. Like he is looking very strong. I wouldn't give him a like a good shot, but he's certainly a contestant in this group.
Right. Well, that's kind of like with MMA too, right? Like him coming back, and he's
MMA too. MMA was extremely impressive too.
Yeah. So I'm excited to watch him. I'm excited to see if he can't qualify for next season and kind of restore his former Goliath, because I definitely think he can do it.
Yeah, I think he needs some more time for sure.
Yeah.
Like it would have been nice for him to not play in the qualifier at all and just been like, like
just chill.
Yeah, being in like the hyperbolic time chamber and then like boom, pop out, fucking qualify and crush his group, and
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I think he has a good shot for next season for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think this is a pretty clear Maru Hero, but the other two are certainly contenders. Like it's certainly possible.
Yeah, I never want to count out Keen. I mean, he's been known to just turn it on, and obviously. I hate doing that too, just sleeping on someone and being like, oh, they have no chance, and then just to be totally wrong.
Right.
But
you can't really say that about anybody in all of Code S because it's just so fucking hard to get in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Except for me, because I beat Haas to get in, so I might be the only one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's still a tough group, but yep, I think I'm gonna go with my gut on that one. Go Hiro Maru. So. Yeah, I think that's there's some pretty good brackets in there. We're definitely gonna have some good games this season. A lot of good players obviously have qualified here. So, what do you think? Are we gonna have a repeat champion? Do you think, or is it gonna go to someone new?
A GSL champion?
Yeah.
I don't think Innovation's winning this season. That's for sure.
Fair. No, I just mean like someone who's never won GSL before, though. Not necessarily just like a repeat from last season. I'm talking about like overall.
I think, has Dark won a GSL? I'm trying to think. I don't think Dark has, and I think this is. I don't know. I'm getting a Dark vibe for this season. I would love to see Dark win a GSL. One of my favorite players right now. And I mean, like, it's hard for me to say and then claim that, right? Because it's hard to tell before this season. Like, if you came to me in the round of 8 and it was Dark and you had dominant, like, round of 16 and round of 32, then I would be really confident to say, okay, Dark looks like a clear favorite here.
Right.
But there's a lot of unseen variables, but certainly I would give Dark one of the highest percentages to win.
Well, obviously it's so early. That's a pretty tough question, but
I would love to see Dark though. That would be that's where my heart is. You know, like Dark's such a nice guy though. I really like him. He's
it.
also one of those Koreans that has a lot of personality, I think. So the Korean scene should know better. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's hard for me to say that because I can't really tell, but I feel like he certainly has some of the most personality in Koreans. One of them.
I've tried to get him on the show, and he says he wants to do it, but he doesn't want to use his camera. And when I've asked him why, he said, because I like to be comfortable at home. So I don't know if he's just like a nudist, like when he's like at home, he's like, nope, I just take the pants come off, or specifically what that means. But at some point, I'm going to try to get him to come on. So I'm going to see if I can't convince him to put a shirt on at least for an episode.
Yeah, Dark's a good guy. I like him.
Well, perfect. Jake, thank you for giving us those predictions. I think we got a lot out of that. And guys, look forward to that. I'll show it to you one more time. I'll send the link out here in the chat. You can pick who you think's going to win. Obviously, and again, that those groups will start in 2 days for the first round here. So take a peek at those if you'd like, and kind of pick your winners and see if you can't come up with better picks than me and Jake. If you come up with better picks, if you get more points than us, I will give you a Sloth Esports mouse pad if you beat our picks.
But you won't, so it's okay.
I will. So
No, I mean like. They won't get
won't,
better pick. We
won't.
pick like Maru
you'd have to upset us.
Dark.
You'd have to pick some dark horses to get there, but if you could do it, we'll get you a mouse pad for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of mouse pads, thank you to our sponsor, Sloth Esports, who sponsor the show. Check out slothesports.com. They do have really high quality mouse pads. Where do you do your picks? If you fill them out, maybe I'll make something and I'll tweet it. I'll do like a PDF where you can do a pick 'em.
If you could do like a Gmail like form or whatever, Google form.
Yeah.
That would probably be really easy. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll set something up here. Or yeah, we could do liquid bets. Yeah, I'll set something. I'll set up something. I think that'd be kind of cool to do like a pick 'em type of deal here. It'd be the right time to do it here right at the beginning of the season too. Kind of do it throughout the season might be a fun thing. Yeah, I'll look into that. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, let's move on. So Jake, we did have a couple questions for you from some of your fans from Reddit.
Yes.
Let's dig right in here. This one comes from Joptimus Prime. Was there ever a time when you were progressing where you lost all hope and thought maybe I just really can't get any better? And if so, how did you get over that? He says, I struggle with that a lot. Peace and love, bro. Good luck.
At some point, this sticks back a lot. So when I first started playing StarCraft 2, I was around 14 years old, and I played in high school. Like I would play literally in high school, like during like my lunch breaks and shit. Mm-hmm. Where the way I could track my progression was through the ladder. So I would progress through the ladder quite quickly. I got Grandmaster in 2012, which is 2 years after I started playing, or 1 year and a half. And I started in Bronze, so I progressed quite quickly. And throughout those years until I graduated high school, I could track my progression quite reasonably as well, where it was like Grandmaster, mid Grandmaster, then like top 25, then top 16, then top 8, you know what I mean?
Right.
Until about when I started moving to Korea. So when I moved to Korea, I was pretty much top 5, like kind of stagnant there, but it's hard to track your progression. I switched more to like a tournament kind of progression to see how I do in tournaments, and it's been pretty stagnant since I would always qualify for a challenger but wouldn't make it through the round of 16. Though I was in Korea, so I had latency and other things that I could blame it on, like a proper player. Got my excuses. But when I was in the MVP, towards the end, I actually felt really stagnant. I felt like I wasn't getting any better, and I just kind of kept playing, but it was kind of demotivating for sure until I qualified for WESG. And then I started feeling like even though I felt like I wasn't improving at all, I actually was. You know what I mean? It's like I couldn't tell, but I was still improving. It's just hard to track your improvements without any like... I don't know how to explain it. It's not like in school where you write your tests and then you get a mark back. It's really hard to tell where you're improving. But if you're playing this game and you're putting time and effort into it, no matter what, you are improving.
Right.
Like I can promise you, even if you feel that you aren't, you are. if you're, you know, like say you feel like you're the same rank and you're just not getting any better, it's not true. You're getting better. Like you're naturally getting better at. You just need to give it more time and you need to keep playing.
Right. I think it comes down to something that Kelzer said once, which was, you know, when you play with a purpose. You know, if you know you're weak in some area, then that's what you already know what you should be focusing on the most. If you're really weak to drops, that's what you should be focusing on the most, you know, to kind of get better.
Yeah.
So just play with a purpose.
So just never feel like you're at a time where you're not progressing, because you are. You just need to keep playing. Actually, right now I feel like, and obviously that's true, right? Like I played in GSL, I didn't qualify. I played WESG and did, you know, okay, and then I fucking, you know, I came out of a group where I had to qualify by playing Impact and Innovation. You know, I came out of that group. I qualified for Code S, like, and then I did it again. This time I beat Patience and Prince and Haas, and I beat Trap. I beat Symbol. Like I you know, do relatively well. Or doing relatively better than I was before. You just have to keep playing.
Yeah. Speaking of that actually just reminded me that Parting is coming back.
Yes.
I kind of forgot that was even happening. So going back to a previous conversation that we had, I'm kind of excited to see if Parting can actually come back and play, you know, back to his old skill level, because that would be amazing.
I think the odds are stacked against Parting for that, but he is looking good. Like I played him on ladder a couple times. I destroyed him, for the record. But
feels good, man.
He is doing better than I was expecting, for sure. And I think he's, you know, somewhat motivated to do well in StarCraft.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that players lack when they come back is motivation to actually be good.
Right.
Especially someone like Parting, because Parting is fucking champion. You know what I mean?
Right. He was a
god. It's so hard to be motivated to be that good again when you've already done it once. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's certainly stacked against him, but I think he's doing better than I expected, and I think he's got a good chance to come back. Not necessarily be Parting, because Parting, it's so hard to do what he did, let alone try and do it again for a second time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I certainly think he can be a competitor. Like we could see him in Code S sometime soon. I'm praying for it. Like MMA and Parting would be sick to see him in Code S again.
That would be a great group to have those two play it out too. To have them be in the same one, that'd be I think that would be a little flashback.
It'd be a field day for the other two, though.
Yeah, for sure.
But
good stuff. All right, next question here from 29 Coast. Is it uncomfortable trying to qualify for Code S in that cramped room with so many people constantly moving around you?
No, not really.
The environment. I think when you're playing for high stakes like that, you kind of block.
I think
out.
if you're a competitive player, you're used to blocking out. Like if you think that that's distracting, imagine playing on a stage with thousands of people in front of you. Like you think having people behind you that you can't even see is distracting. Like there is so many more things that can be distracting. Mm-hmm. And playing with people behind you or being loud or whatever is certainly something that you have to get used to, and certainly something that you do get used to if you're a competitive player.
Right. Were you pretty nervous when you first started getting up in front of the big crowds?
Not particularly. Like one of the first times I ever played on stage was in GSL. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've already been a competitor for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. Like I've played this game for 7 years, so I'm quite, somewhat experienced. I didn't really get nervous from the crowds, but more nervous from my placement in the tournament. You know what I mean? Like if I'm one game away from being eliminated, that's when I get nervous. It has nothing to do with the stage, but more or less my own nerves in the tournament.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels the same as like an online event to me.
Right. And then last question here comes from Lee_JX. Hey Jake, what's your favorite build?
1312.
Perfect.
I feel like that's the meme I'm supposed to answer. Actually, I'm gonna say I have a new favorite build. I don't know if you've been on Reddit, but that Mothership Core recall build, I love it. It's my favorite build now.
It's a good build.
For the few people that have seen it, they will understand. But man, that's hilarious, that build. If I had to pick a real favorite, though, I'm trying to think of what I 1312 is honestly like one of the staple build that I do, with just most like control out of it.
Right.
But it's not really like interesting or fun. It's just kind of the build.
Right. Well, that does it for our viewer submitted questions, guys. If you have more questions for NoRegreT, feel free to post those in the chat. We'll get to them near the end of the stream, though. We're going to move on, and now we're going to more focus on going back and talking about the team house overall, right? Because this is a new thing. This is a new Foreigner team house. It's been you've coined it Project Unity, correct? That's kind of the name, Project Unity, because we have
That's what we're going with.
Players from different countries all coming together. So let's start just from the very beginning. What made you want to get involved with this and putting together a team house? Because you were kind of the front man for this project.
So maybe like you kind of have to go back to like what I wanted to do before I was going to retire from StarCraft. I initially wanted to take the shot in Korea because I had money saved up from streaming. I was more of a streamer way back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wanted to either, like retire and go to work or give it a shot and go to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, either way, I want to do this, right? Like it's just a matter of money invested for the experience. So I was like, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like money's money, but I won't have this experience ever in my life again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went out to Korea. I had connections with Huck, and he introduced me to Choya, who was the captain or coach of MVP, and he let me stay there. And that was probably some of my best experiences in StarCraft 2. Was like the team house environment was a very like new and interesting thing for me, and it was one of the most beneficial periods of my career in terms of like practice and improvement, and I just felt a real sense of community, and it was something great for sure. Unfortunately, the team house disbanded when I was there. Right. So I had to move out, and me and Scarlett moved in together because she also lived in Korea, and it just made sense financially, and it was a better choice. We could get a bigger place for the same rent.
Right, absolutely.
We talked about this before moving in, that we thought this would be a good idea. Like we basically got a place big enough to house one extra person with us. Mm-hmm. Do you know who that person was?
No.
Neeb.
Oh, of course.
So we housed Neeb and Scarlett and myself, and then Neeb went on to win Kespa Cup. So it felt like everything was pushing us into this direction, you know what I mean? Like, right. It was just like, we brought one foreigner in, and he won the first Korean tournament in 16 years a foreigner had ever won, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, like, I think this is a good shot. This is something there's interest in the community for sure. So we partnered with Base Trade TV to, help financially, and we did our own house with them. Mm-hmm. It went okay. There was some turbulence at the end. There was honestly not a single problem at all during the entire year, though.
Right.
Like the whole year went smoothly. It was like insanely successful, way more successful than I thought. I thought we'd have 4 or 5 people, and we would have to fundraise a lot to pay for rent, but we didn't. We didn't have to. We fundraised for like investments, like air conditioners and
right.
shit like that, but like we never had to fund rent. I had to do it once, and every other time it was covered by the players in the house. So like we had more than enough. And finishing that year, I felt that we needed to move on from base trade because we didn't have the same views, which is fine, completely fine. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I felt like we could get a bigger place for less money if we moved farther from Seoul, which we did. House is way nicer. It's way better.
Seems pretty nice from what I can see behind you.
Yeah, it's very nice. Like it's like 1,600 or something square feet. Like this play area is maybe trying to think, maybe like 25 to 30% larger than the other one.
Yeah.
And the house itself is just massive. Like if you look way back there, that's our kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
It also has like a sick view, which I'll show you guys too.
All right, let's take a look at this POV. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is the 27th floor. We have a view of the ocean. The ocean's that way.
That's awesome, dude. That's
I have bed sheets to block the sun.
That's beautiful too. No, that's
the
cool.
house is beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
So certainly an upgrade. Bigger house with capacity, like a larger capacity. It's closer to the airport. It's still relatively the same distance from the GSL.
Right.
And financially, we're in the best spot we've ever been, where we can afford to invest money into the house and make rent even cheaper than it already has been.
Right.
So
And for those who don't know, who is currently in the house right now?
we have Puck, Hurricane, DNS, Scarlet, Rex, Major, Xanster, and sort of, and myself.
So obviously people from all over the world, coming together and practicing.
Yeah.
From what you can tell, or from what you've heard from the others, have they been improving? Do they feel like they've been improving their game just being here? Obviously, we've seen him qualify for GSL for the first time, so I would assume he feels that way.
Literally every single foreigner wants to come back that's staying here now. So I think that's evident of itself that they feel like they're improving, or that this is an environment they would prefer to be in than their own, home or practice environments. I think we can very clearly see an improvement in sort of. We can very clearly see an improvement in Sasha, even though you guys can't, I can, and she can, I'm sure. Major coming back from BlizzCon, obviously his last year was insanely strong, and I feel like he's got a lot in his future as well. Myself, I've been getting way better, way more diverse, way more unique in my own playstyle. Certainly I've never been this strong before in my entire career.
Right.
But I think overall, yes, there are some people that don't necessarily improve as much as others, but I think everyone finds it a beneficial environment, regardless.
That's awesome. So what do you feel like the overall goal then is for Project Unity? Is it just to bring the foreigners, let them experience it, and to get better? What do you feel the overall goal is?
The overall goal of our team house is certainly to bring new players in and give them the experience of living in Korea. Whether they use that to improve or not, it's on them. But I think if they're interested and want the experience, then it should be our job to offer that to them.
Right.
And I think almost every single person, I can safely say, has improved coming here.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seems like you're doing a lot of great things for these players, and they're really enjoying being there, and they're getting a lot of value out of it. So from outside looking in, this is a great value, not only for yourself and the experience, but then, just having everyone come in and collaborate and gain this overall collective experience together.
Certainly this is raising the foreigner skill gap, certainly.
Right.
And also, eventually our plan is to have free rent for players, so it's another way to support players, and when you don't have teams or can't afford to, pay your own rent, depending. Most people can, honestly, but it's just even rent now is only $270 per month, so it's just
per
really
person
cheap.
Or total?
Per person.
Okay. It's wait a minute.
The rent of the house itself is $1,300 per month.
That's my mortgage, actually. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. It's
for how big that place is. Yeah.
2-bathroom. I'm talking to Dankshine. We're doing an interview. Everyone's so intrusive. I'm sorry.
Who is that?
Scarlet.
Oh, she's just jealous.
What? That's what happens when you're in an interview. We were saying good things about you, though, so that's good.
Yeah, we were saying that she's improving, and it's noticeable.
We said your noticeable improvements and are favorite for your group. Yes, I said you're a favorite.
I said she looked good too. I did not say she wasn't a favorite.
Toast said you were coming last, but
okay.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Way to throw me under the bus there. Okay, moving on. So I do want to talk to you about one of the things. So I found out today there's been some allegations against the team house right now. They were actually playing with stolen PCs. So from what I've been told, so I kind of wanted to bring this up and was asked to bring it up because I think it's interesting. Unfortunately, it's kind of a negative, but I want to talk about it. I want to get it out there. And kind of talk to you about it because that's the allegation, right?
First, we have to back up because this could be really serious. What we're about to talk about.
Okay.
I need to know what the source is and how public this person wants to make it.
Okay, so the source wants to remain anonymous, which I'll respect. They themselves have given me permission to talk about this, so I'm pretty sure you know who it is.
Okay.
So they want to bring it up, right? It's anonymous. I'm not going to say who it is. They brought it to me and we're like, hey, I think this is something that's worthy to talk about because it's happening.
Okay.
So the allegation, right? Is
I will talk about this, but this is not something that I can go really in depth with because this is very serious.
And by no means is this meant to be a hit piece or something like that to throw you under the bus, but it's
no, I understand.
Right.
I'm just trying to figure out how, like, what's going on behind the scenes right now between me and this anonymous person, which I know who we're talking about because he's the only other person that could know about what we're talking about.
Fair.
Is that it is very, very serious. So I'm trying to think of how like I could drop the bombshell and all of us are fucked kind of thing. But like
that's okay. So
it would be really bad to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. So basically,
I'm gonna say this.
I'm trying to pussyfooting around here too.
There's no gear that is stolen. Okay, if he wants to say it is or say it isn't, there is nothing that is stolen. Everything was purchased legitimately through an investment. Whether or not the investment was supposed to be returned is where the dispute is. And the investment was into house startup costs, which were not necessarily meant to be returned. Mm-hmm. And the dispute is that they were, and he's trying to force me to pay up, basically.
Right. When
I'm just saying, like, actually, I'll read my DM, which is something I probably can't do. I'll read it in code, but you'll get the gist of what I said to him.
Sure.
Which is, I don't feel like we owe you anything considering something that has happened between us. If you would like to work with us to fix our issues in 2017, I'd be more inclined to help. But, you know, like, it would be a favor if I was to do what he is requesting. It's not necessarily something that I'm obliged or obligated to do.
Right.
So, you know.
Right. Well, you know,
it's not stolen is basically what I'm going to say.
Right. From my perspective, just to give you my from outside looking in, right, to the situation, it's totally, I think it's totally dependent on what the contract says.
Which had nothing to do with anything. The contract is completely out of the picture.
Okay.
So at this point, it's my word versus their word in this situation.
Okay. So that's pretty tough, right? Obviously, like, it's a tough situation. You know, you're getting into morals, you know, kind of shit like that, right? And you know what's right and what's wrong or whatever. Just from my perspective, looking into it, you know, if at some point there was like a verbal agreement to give it back, because it kind of seems like, because I know the DM you're talking about, and it seems like there was almost like another incident that's affecting this. Am I right? I don't want to get in depth because again, we're not trying to blow that up. Okay, I thought there was another incident that kind of
there was an incident between us that went very wrong, in the sense that something was promised on his end that he didn't, you know, fulfill.
Gotcha.
And but it's not like a revenge thing. It's just not a.
Does that incident? But does that incident pertain
influence
to
it? No.
Okay.
Oh, pertain to it?
Yeah. Are they connected?
It has no influence. No.
Okay.
Like at no point was I under the expectation to return these things, as though he is saying there's PCs and computer or monitors or whatever. Most of it went into beds and desks and shit. So like, I'm not really sure how he would want me to send these things back. Like I'm pretty sure I have like the computer I have is really a bare bones computer that's completely out of use because it's just way under spec. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It would cost more to send this back to him than it's worth. And again, these are things he's requesting of me that aren't necessarily I'm not obligated to do.
Sure.
So it's just like, I have to invest my time into this. He's already done shady shit, and it's not necessarily worth it for me to do this. And I didn't say I wouldn't do it. I just said, if you want to work with us to fix our issues, that I would be more inclined to help.
Right.
That was all, right?
Right.
And then it went into this huge thing, which I don't particularly want to get into, but like, essentially he's trying to take me to court for it. And it's like, what the fuck are we even doing, right? You know what I mean?
Right. I get it. It's one of these things I think that's why it's really important to have, you know, these clear cut contracts with what are the expectations exactly. You know, you try to cut out as much of the, you know, verbal promising as you can. You know, everything should be on paper. I've learned that the hard way, you know, in my career.
I learned the hard way too.
Put it on paper, because if it's not on paper, no one's going to give a shit what someone else said. That's the problem, right?
I agree with you 100%. And of course, we learned our lesson the hard way as well. But like, I don't know what's going on.
For my advice to you for this situation is, I would just be careful and try to get it resolved as easy as possible. That would be my only advice, because from what I've seen, it's kind of a shit show. I don't want you to get wrapped up in it negatively, and unfortunately, I had. To, I wanted to bring it up because I think it is important to talk about, obviously because it's something that is happening and it's relevant. But at the same time, it's not like I said. This isn't something to shine negatively against you. I don't want you to think.
I'm not worried about it. Like, shit's gonna happen. It's whatever. Like, if he wants to take me to court over this, it's a waste of money and time for both of us, and I don't particularly care. Like, I've talked to lawyers on my end, and if there's no contract, there's nothing. I have the initial investment. It's an invoice that says, like, it's just house startup costs. Like, there's nothing I can do, and I'm personally not going to spend my own money to ship these things out when what happened. And
right.
I don't know why he'd want to bring this up on stream, but, like, if we did do what he wants to do, it would be a really big shit show, and it would be very public, and there would be a lot of fucking issues with him and myself, but probably more on him, to be honest.
Right.
And it would just be bad. It would just be bad for everyone. It'd be bad for StarCraft. It'd be bad for our partnership or whatever. And I think we just need to let shit go. And if he doesn't want to work on it and fix our problems, then there's nothing I can really do.
Right. The only other thing I have to say is I hope you're still at least in contact with him, trying to get it resolved at least.
I blocked him.
Okay. Well, like I said, I want this to go.
It's like borderline harassment. Like, I just don't want to. I don't want to be a part of it. Like, I'm busy with shit, and he's being completely unreasonable. Like,
Sure.
I just don't want to deal with it. Like, it's literally not something that's supposed to go back, and he's like trying to force my hand into paying him. You know what I mean? It's just like, what the fuck? What's even going on right now?
I mean, all I can do is be objective. Obviously, it doesn't involve me. I've just been given that information. I'm looking at from the outside. So, like I said, I just hope that it goes all well. I hope that it just gets resolved. I hope that it's easy. It doesn't get messy. So, and that's
probably gonna get messy. We're bringing it up on stream already, apparently.
Well, again, that's what I have to say about it. At least I hope it gets resolved. I hope it doesn't get too bad for you.
Yeah, we'll see. Not too worried about it anyways. So
yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. You like you said, you're busy. You've got other stuff going on too. So there's a lot of other stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
But regardless, the team house so far has been, from what we can see, wildly successful. Everyone is enjoying being there. You're turning down people left and right that want to come. Like Kelliser, sorry, Diego, there's no room for you right now. What is the timetable for those that are there? How long are they going to be there for?
Most people are leaving in. What's the most recent tournament? Leipzig.
Yeah.
The thing is, we have waves of people. Like, when they all leave for a tournament, all those people come, or not all of them, but like the new people swoop in on the tail end of the tournament. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going from 9 people to 3 to 9 people again. You know what I mean? It's just like new, fresh people. So that's usually how the house fills out. But yeah, so we see everyone except for DNS leave, and myself, Scarlet, Major.
Right.
Like the staple people.
Right. You're kind of the permanent residents.
Yeah. We have like 4 or 5 swinger spots basically,
mm-hmm.
and then everyone else is a permanent resident.
How do you just? One of the viewers wants to know, how do you decide who gets to stay in the house? It's more about, I guess, them, isn't it?
It's mostly about them. Like, we try to balance like who's come, who hasn't. Like, giving like new players a bit of a preference, people who are staying longer a bit of a preference, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard to tell somebody they can't come. But there's a lot of factors that go into it. Usually it's first come, first serve, honestly. If I get more notice, then they get the, better shot at it. I don't really have like an indefinite way of like declining people though. Right. This is honestly the first time I've ever had to do that. It's like this year, first month.
Yeah. No, that's good though. Like I said, people are wanting to come. It's awesome. So, I saw a request earlier too that they would like more vlogs. They love your vlogs, so they want to see, more of the behind the scenes stuff. Which I'm with them, dude. I love the vlogs, man. Especially when you've got Matt there too to help you out, because Matt
is insanely fucking talented.
Matt's a god.
Yeah, I really hope that he gets like one of the best jobs in esports ever. because he deserves it. I honestly think he will like get picked up by someone at some point, but like he's so talented, you know. Like he's like 90% of the work in the vlogs. Like I just do like a bit of the planning, and obviously I try to be like more of the I guess I don't know how to explain it. I'm more of the person who sells it.
Right, you're the front man.
Right.
You're like the sales guy. Like Matt runs
Right.
the the behind the scenes stuff. You're the front of house dude. You're the one everyone sees.
Right. It's certainly a partnership, and I think it's a real beneficial one. We're really good friends. Like the way we started is actually quite interesting. I don't know if I've told you the story, but like he approached me on Reddit and basically said he wanted to film me in a documentary he was doing.
Mhm.
So I said, sure, you can come film me in the GSL qualifiers or whatever. And he's like, okay, cool. And that's how we met. And eventually we started working together.
Yeah, no, Matt's awesome. It was funny. I actually, when was the first time? Was it when we were in Montreal? You know, was the first time I had met him. And afterwards, I had messaged him. Hey, it was really good to meet you and stuff. And he just never responded. And then like 4 months later, he's like, oh, hey, I never saw this. Yeah, good to meet you too. I was like, okay, good.
Because you messaged him on Skype.
It was on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he's not really active with much social media.
Yeah,
he's pretty active with Kakao. That's about it.
Kakao Talk, yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to work on something when I get out to Korea here. I think at the end of this year, at the end of 2018, because we're trying to do that interview with Life. So maybe we can work with you guys on kind of.
Wait, you're gonna do an interview with Life?
Trying, yep. We're in talks trying to figure out how to get it done.
Christ. That's insane.
So maybe you guys would like to be a part of that and help us out with that camera work. That would be great to have him be a part of it.
We could help you with that. That'd be sick. We could also do interviews in the house and stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
do
for sure.
You want, my dude?
Yeah, we could definitely talk about it later. That'd be amazing. But yeah, I know that would be just a cool opportunity, obviously, to collab on something big like that.
You come, we can certainly put out our decent share of collab work.
Awesome.
I'm always looking to collab.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to end on a high note. Again, I kind of feel bad for bringing up the negative shit. It's something that was brought to me. I don't want you to think that that was a hit piece or anything like that on my part. It was just.
I mean, I don't blame you for bringing it up, but like I don't know how, like, it's there's such a fine line here that like if it breaks, like everything goes. Like it's a floodgate of just bullshit that just spews out. You know what I mean? And it's just like. Do we want to start World War III? Because I don't. I would like this to be beneficial for everyone in StarCraft. That's my goal. Is just to be beneficial for StarCraft people, to progress our scene, because our scene is I'm so appreciative for the scene. Like I've done so much stuff to try and like give back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm not a saint by any means, but like I'm certainly going out of my way to try and do my part in doing content and stuff on the behind the scenes. And this house is obviously something that I've always been extremely passionate about. It's always been my passion, no matter what. And it sucks because like we're in the middle of all this bullshit right now, and it's just not necessary, right? Like what I'm saying is that. We did not steal anything. Right. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right, and then again, that's part of the reason why I said too. I just wanted to, I want it to be easy. I just want it to get done because I don't want you to have to worry about it because I know you've got so much other stuff going on, and it's a waste of your time to have to worry about it.
It is.
So
it is quite. But it's whatever. Like I hope nothing comes out of it, and I hope like it goes away, and no one has to worry about anything. And there's a chance it will. Like, there's a chance. And that's kind of what we're hoping for and we're holding out for. But if it goes down, like, the loud, messy way, like, it's going to be messy for everybody.
Right. Thank you, Fear Dragon, for the host. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the Filthy NA Cup. I know that this was the inaugural Fear Dragon cast with Tempo, so hope you guys enjoyed it. Here you've caught the tail end of Dank Shrine. If you don't know, and for any of those that are new, I don't know how many new people we have. I've seen a couple names that I haven't seen before. So this show is weekly. We do this show every single week. We're live with a new guest, covering news and doing interviews. So if this is something that you enjoy watching, or it sounds like it's something you enjoy watching, hit that follow button. If you feel like donating, that really helps. Obviously, our goal is to get DreamHack Austin this year to do live content from the event. So any money donated will go towards that goal. So just really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're almost done. Not quite, so there's still a little bit to watch. So hang out with us for a little bit longer. But yeah, Jake, thank you for making the time and talking with me.
I'm happy to be here. It's my first time with you.
Yeah, hopefully not the last time too. I'd love to have you back on here again once you get to the round of 16.
If I get to the round of 16, you better be paying me to be on here, my dude. I'm gonna be
You're
a
the
celebrity if
you're
I
the
take
big
down
time
Zest
then.
and Sue.
You will.
Yeah.
No joke. You would. You'd be like
That would be absolutely insane.
That's like ESPN News. That's on like
Yeah.
the front page of
that would be fucking crazy.
And then we have old people complaining about esports isn't real sports. But we've got a little bit more, so we're gonna go into our final segment. So again, guys, thank you for watching. Hit that follow button. But we're gonna go into our top 5 community submitted Twitch clips for this last week. Well, we got a donation here.
Oh, is it $500?
It's $5.
That's close.
From
I was a
Sheer
couple
Shaddai.
zeros off.
No, anything is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, Sheer. I do not regret this donation. Hee hee is what he said. Yeah, so we're gonna go into the community clips now. If anyone can submit to this, I just want to make that clear because
I submitted to it.
A couple of
I did
them
my part.
are ones that people have already seen. I get that. It can be any clip from anyone's stream. Does not matter. If you think it's funny, send it in, and then we'll do a top 5. So if you see something funny, clip it, send it in to me. You can DM it to me on Twitter at DankShrine, or you can send it to our Discord if you type in Discord. Let's see, Discord. You can join our Discord. You can DM it to me on there. But let's go ahead and watch, Jake. If you want to have your stream up, you can watch these with me as we go through, because I've got a separate slide for this. This is kind of innovative here. So let's take a look here. So coming in at number 1, we have Gemini with the money stasis hit, as you see here in just a second.
Oh my fucking god!
Shit.
So just getting the complete surround against this poor Terran, isolating, and it was stim too, so it was basically free damage on them right away. So very rough situation for that
Very
Terran player.
unfortunate, yeah.
Yeah, and it was a GG right after this, of course.
Rip. I feel bad for this
There's
Terran.
another
He's
resource
probably
we
so
should
sad right
mention
now.
here. It's called
Next we
karma.
have Nura, who is
Now,
going to
some
tell us a
people
little
have
bit why
said,
karma
well,
on
isn't
Reddit
that
is so
kind of
important.
like a Buddhist, like thingy regarding
Can only imagine what I'm-
reincarnation and all this.
What's going on right now?
Technically, yes, and part of the reason people fight so hard for karma on Reddit is because they want to be reincarnated as something really cool, such
You might need
as
the
a
sound for
goose
this, Jake.
or a penguin or emus or ostriches. So, depending on if you want to be a bear or whatever, whenever you grow up and die and get reincarnated, it's all going to come down to your Reddit karma. Like how many really good reaction gifts you posted. Because if you haven't posted good reaction gifts, I feel bad for you, son.
Thank you for that cheer.
I got 99 problems, and one of them is figuring out Zerg versus
Jesus
Terran. But
Christ.
sometimes we win, so...
So explaining why you need
On the
Reddit points
bubble, these
to
queens
be
on the top side though, they were kind of move commanding in. It's a bit of a surround. Quincy's
Hero's a
got a
nice game.
sandwich.
I
The
like him.
question is, can you handle this much salami?
Really
I mean,
chill
there's a
guy.
lot of white bread
Yeah.
on the bottom, but there's only
So
a few
this
pieces,
next
the
one
whole
is
meal on
Pig,
the top. And then
who must be hungry because he's talking about the Zerg salami sandwich.
Salami starting to go down to that fungal.
the hell's
The
going on
salami's
here?
taking a lot of damage. Oh, he's just added some.
Is this a
fucking
normal
mayonnaise
non-for-meme
here. Some
ZVZ?
mayonnaise, just slipping
I'm not for sure what
salami
happened in
all
this
over
game, to be
salami.
I
honest.
feel like they were like, all right, let's just
Bread
only build
top
queens.
does start running
Queens and
away.
infestors.
Who the fuck puts mayonnaise on a salami sandwich?
is just weird.
I don't even know what savage does shit
Also, he's
like
using
that.
infested
Quincy's gonna
Terrans.
have to
Those
run
are
away. The
terrible
salami
right
gets
now.
broken up.
Hang on. I'll
Against
get
ground.
Next we have In Control, who takes a call
Yeah, it's
from
Jeff.
Barack Obama.
I saw that. That was hilarious.
You were watching? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, tier 3 would be great. Look, at one point in the game, I lost my gold base, and I talked about how because he hadn't built his gold base yet, I was going to be okay. I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the chat. You want me to... Jay, 1 second. Barack Obama's saying... Let me get this right. What is... Okay.
I love Jeff.
He says
He's
you're
great.
a diddly-wink
He's a great guy.
poopy face, and he wants you to know that he banged your mom. Banged, really? It's kind of an aggressive term for that, isn't it?
And our number 1 comes in for parting, surviving with this Cybercore with like 2 life points, with force fields and some good micro. I don't think
I was a little bit triggered though. Like he could just click on the shield battery and heal up the Cybercore.
I know. I thought the same. I don't know if he knows that you can do that. I don't know if he.
I don't think he does. Right? Like it's too close to be like I just want to save my shield battery energy. Like it's too close. There's no way. It's smart as like. I mean, he did it. It's just like this is a lot harder than it had to be.
Yeah, did it the hard way. Oh my gosh! So those were our top 5 for this week. If you guys would like your clips sent in, just send your clips in. Doesn't matter again whose stream it is, what it is. Obviously, not all those were gameplay. As long as it's StarCraft 2 relevant somehow. If it's someone from our community, just send them in. If it's funny, we'll get it on. If it's a great hold or anything like that, we'll get it on. So send those in. And we'll get those on for next week's. But that will do it for today's show. So I appreciate everyone stopping by. Jake, again, thank you for coming. Would you like to give any shout out here before we send the guys out?
Yeah, sure. Shout out to you guys. You guys make it possible. This community is one of the most beneficial communities, I think, in all of esports. And I'm happy to be a part of it.
Same. So thank you guys again for everything. We will see you again next week. Same time, same place for another interview. Don't know who our guest will be, but we do have at some point the team owner for the new Meloria team. So Sortov's team and Panda Bear, me, and Jim Rising. That team owner, we're going to have him on. We're going to kind of pick his brain and kind of find out what he's about and how he got into investing into StarCraft. So that's all for us for this week, guys. Take care and have a good night.